Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Grace, for your explanation. Samuel Shauri. Samuel Shauri.
Yes, Pascal.
Yes.
Actually, let me appreciate Madam Grace for actually giving us some light. Now, I was actually thinking of maybe some two points on this question. One is avoiding the use of offensive language during the process, whereby the counselor will be using friendly language, being polite to the client. Then I was talking about also harassment. The counselor should also not harass the client. That is maybe by giving him or her less time to explain, or suggesting the problems the client is undergoing, and maybe trying to come up with some quick solutions to the client. I don't know whether I'm in the right track.
Let me come again.
Yes.
After you identify your point,
Yeah.
Look at the doing word. The doing word, the verb that is there at the beginning. Describe.
Yeah.
Because and this is where the student will lose marks. You come out saying the exam was very good because you are able to bring out your points, but you stated them.
Yeah.
You did not describe. So the doing word is the one that dictates the marks that you get. So like the first point he has raised, I would say he has just stated. He has not described.
Okay.
I hope I'm communicating. So
yes, madam.
Before you move to the next point, make sure you have worked with the keyword there, the verb. And every question has a verb. Identify, examine, explain, describe.
Yeah.
So, and when you are being told about describing, it's like when you are told to describe the event, how the event was. Are we together? How the journey, you describe the journey you took. Describe that point, how it is. But when you're told to describe, you give. When you're told to describe, you mention. When you're told to describe, you highlight. You get just 1 mark.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. Somebody is asking, what is autonomy in counseling? That is from Christine. A quick help from somebody. Autonomy in counseling. Anthony Matege.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm responding on the ethical issues.
Yes.
These are the professional do's or don'ts that a counselor should not be involved in during a professional consultation. My contribution is that a counselor has issues, or a counselor may have his or her own issues, and these issues may not be should not be raised during a counseling session because it is a disadvantage to the counselee. The counselor should focus on the issues that the counselee is presenting, rather than raising his or her own issues. Thank you.
I think I like the way he has described his point. Whether the point is correct or not, he has described it so well. Are we together?
Yes.
The point has been described.
So Anthony was talking about the issue about the self-disclosure, where the client may be in a position to share a problem that, rather, the counselor may be in a position to share the problem that is almost similar, or that is similar to that of the client, but to encourage the client, or to shed some rays of hope to the client that his or her case is not exceptional. However, he has also mentioned that the counselor should observe the issue of self-disclosure, not to go overboard, because in as much as the client has come for counseling or for guidance and counseling, even the counselor has his own challenges, and these challenges should not be part and parcel of the counseling process. I can't see any other hand. So I said we look at question 6B, and then we look at now question 6A. Now that the majority managed to join, I want us to look at question 6A.
Because before we go to question 6A,
yes,
I have a concern of the person who is asking what is autonomy.
Yes.
At this juncture, we should not be asking what is autonomy. I'm not discrediting the students, but how I wish the students avoid the vocabularies. Because if you use vocabularies, you will have a problem. But if you have the idea, you bring that idea across, it will be better for that student. Okay, even some terms, the other thing is that sometimes some terms are self-descriptive. But like the word autonomy, it has its, when do you use the autonomy? How do you use it? Then from there, you can get some beef to put what is autonomy. Okay, thank you. We can move on.
All right, thank you very much. Question number 16, question number 6A, on the assumptions of the systems theory. Now, explain 5 assumptions of the systems theory, and that is where we stopped the other day, and I said that we were to pick that question, go and try finding out more about it so that we can give a comprehensive report or answers on the same. Now, before we begin giving the assumptions of the systems theory, I think it is good that we get to know what is this systems theory before we are able now to answer it. So, what is systems theory? What is systems theory? There is complete silence.
Pascal, should I leave the meeting so that the members become active?
No. Plus, should Madam Grace
So much.
Kiari leave?
Madam Usiende.
No,
Usi-
no.
Usiende, because you are the one who is going to correct us. At times we may
Yeah.
be thinking we are doing the correct thing, yet we are going astray the way we have been going. So kindly don't
Sure.
leave. Kindly.
And then let us respond towards the this question.
Now,
Yes, Josephine.
how to put it, but I will try.
Carry on, carry on, carry on. Masimutuku, look at your microphone so that we don't get distracted. Yes, Josephine?
According to me, system theory, if I may take it at the context of the school level, it is a way things are being channeled to run concurrently so that a school as a whole system may function well. You find that in a school, we are having teachers. In a school, we are having cooks. In a school, we are having other support staff like maybe cleaners. In a school, maybe where we are having, if it is an inclusive setup, we may be having these other people like the physiotherapist. Each and every person knows when to come in by not interfering with the other person. And at the end of the day, each and every person would have achieved his or her objective, and the entire school will also have achieved its entire objective as a system. So the different departments will act concurrently in such a way that they do not interfere with one another's program, but they assist one another in upholding the entire system to work, to function fully well. That is the way I can explain it.
Thank you very much, Madam Josephine, for the explanation. Josephine has used an explanation of a school setup where we have what we call the division of labor, and everyone has a part to play. And in as much as the labor is divided like that, from the top to the bottom, in this, from the top to the bottom, you realize that both the personnel involved, they are working towards the achievement of the same goal. And those who can remember, some time back in Kise, where one of the lecturers said that is working for a distinction with this group. And so he was saying that the braille should not rub off. What is already learned in KSL, you can remember the answer which was given was that whether they get distinction or credit, they are working towards the same goal. So long as the goal is achieved, that the objectives are achieved at the end and the goals are met, then all will remain rejoicing. So when we talk about the systems theory, we are talking about, we are looking at interdisciplinary or interdependent parts that can be natural, they can be man-made, but you realize that they are working together towards the achievement of the objectives of a given, either if it is an institution, if it is an industry, whichever place if it is a school, then you realize that they are interdependent, but they work towards achievement of the same objectives together. So having said that, I'd just seen a certain hand, it has been lowered. So I want us to look at the assumptions of the systems theory. Maybe before we look at the assumptions of the systems theory, another question that maybe we need to get the picture is, who is the theorist behind the systems theory? So that now once we unravel that, we can now carry on. Who are the theorists behind systems theory? Somebody was saying that he can't remember being taught this, but it is there. Yes, so who is the theorist behind the systems theory? Yes.
Pascal.
Yes.
Who
is the theorist behind the assumptions, behind the systems theory?
The proponent?
Yes.
Oh.
Leo watu mumenyamaza sana. Madam Grace yuko, hata alienda kitambo. She's not there, so let us respond. Yes. Ludwig von. This is from Jeff. Ludwig von, the theorist behind the systems theory is known as Ludwig von, and of course he was a biologist. He was a biologist. He's the one who came up with the systems theory. And while he came up with it, he was trying to look at the relationship between interdependent bodies towards achieving a specific set goal. Set goal. We had just used an example of an institution. So he studied how different offices or different positions within the school can work together towards achievement of the specific objectives. Right. So having said all those, explain assumptions of the systems theory.
Pascal, tulisoma kwa hii kitu mali. Unacheka, usituambie tu
hata mimi sikumbuki yaki.
Hii video hakuna.
Hii hatukufunzwa, lakini ndio hii iko kwa mtihani.
Sema hivyo, aje kucheka hapo chini.
Sasa Pascal.
Yes.
Iko kwa hii paper ya psychology.
Yes.
Na iko kwa module gani? Juu nimesoma zingine sijakama cross hiyo jina yake.
Si kitu tulisoma kwa guidance and counseling. Ama mimi ndio na confuse.
Penye kuna
Yes.
single parent, parents or
Hakuna hiyo kwa guidance and counseling.
Hakuna.
Pascal,
Yes, yes.
hii neno assumptions tunapeana, is it the importance or the significance, ama tunajibu nini sasa tukiambiwa hii assumptions of the systems theory?
Maybe somebody to answer that. When we talk about assumptions, what are we giving?
Can I try?
Yes.
When you give the assumption about a theory, it's like you're giving out the ideas that theory fronts, or what the theories, I mean, what are the main ideologies behind the theory? I hope you get this.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. When we talk about the assumptions, we are looking at the realities or the truth that is presented in a given study. Like in this, we are giving the truth or the acceptable facts about that theory. Remember, these theories, while they were coming up with the theories, there must have been facts that they tried, they considered, and they found to be worthy putting down.
Could it also mean importance or reasons why the system is useful, maybe?
Yes, yes.
Now, Pascal. No.
Yes.
Now, for example, you know, when people do come up with a theory, there are some assumptions. There are certain things that we cannot say that they are facts. There are certain things that have not been proven. So, for example, if we, in a case where we are to write a research, you use a theory to help you argue up or argue out your variables, assuming that they may work the same way the proponent of that theory brought them out. Then from there, you will come up now, after going to the field, you will say, well, the theory assumed it this way, but mine is now this way. Just the real word assumption, assuming.
Okay, Pascal, I'd like to try answer this question, and then we see if we are going to the right direction. From the explanation on the meaning of the system theory, ni kama nilikuwa nimeelewa, it's like we are connecting different ideas towards one goal. So for instance, tunaweza sema using a method like conceptual, or using different concepts to explain meaning of something, inaweza kuwa one of the assumptions ama the importance of this systems theory. Kwa sababu unapata saa ingine in a class you want to explain a certain concept, but you can use another concept to come up with the exact meaning, ama wanafunzi ili waelewe rahisi whatever you will be talking in that particular lesson.
Right. Thank you, Samuel.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't see any other person's hand, so I want us to carry on. I want us to carry on, and 0716 is saying that assumption, there is an underlying general order in the word assumption, and social ordering is constant and a dynamic process. assumption, process as to assumption. All human social behavior is purposive.
Now, for example, Mr. Pascal, if today you meet me, you are maybe used to seeing me without glasses. And after some time you meet me putting on glasses. What will you assume? That maybe I'm going blind, Sivyo? And
Yes.
could be I'm putting it on for beauty. So unless you try to find out why I'm putting it on, your assumptions will just remain, maybe I'm going blind. But from the time you get the facts that maybe I'm putting it on for beauty, then you will come up with the real explanation. So it could be an opinion or a belief about something that has to be proven.
True. Nakonka na wewe.
Right. I want us to carry on. So that we can't take the whole 1 hour looking at one question.
Sasa unakaa rio na tuelewa hata theory peke yake ndio tuweze kuchangia. Hii ndio tabu. Mimi nimetafuta kwa simu naona tu input, transformation, output. Sasa sijui nini. Lazima nijarudie.
Pascal.
Yes, Jacob.
I think that question A, explain five assumptions of the system theory. We can still go ahead and discuss it the way Madam had put it. Like in a school setup, we are having different departments, but all of us are working towards the same goal. So we can say, for example, we put it in a simple language, the advantages of having a team working in maybe a school setup. So we go ahead and explain its advantages. Like, for example, if we are having a good rapport among the staffs, or rather in an organization, now what benefit will it be bringing in? For example, if I can state, like it can increase the productivity of a place. When it is in the education, then it can increases the level of performance of the learners. That is my take.
And another thing, if we take assumption theory in our school context, you will find that we are having timetable. The timetable, all these teachers have gone to school to teach, and maybe we are only having a class to be taught. The timetable will be there to help us get in at a particular time, so that we may not rub shoulders with one another. The cooks there will also be following their timetable, that we are supposed to do this, break time they take this, lunch time they do this. So with the assumption, with this, it was system theory, I think it was used to create order in a system for different organizations to run properly. 1, 2, maybe it was used so that if we are having the different departments, we obey the hierarchical order. Maybe in this education system, we having the CS, the CS, what, blah, 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 until we reach the learner down here. Kila mtu anafanya part yake, lakini we are all in the education system for order, to obey the authorities. Na hiyo mimi sijui kama I'm even making sense.
Mwalimu, you are making a lot of sense.
You can say
a lot of sense, because you are
identification.
Yes.
Leadership identification.
Mwalimu is making a lot of sense because she is giving examples.
Yeah.
And actually, I liked the way she described the system theory. And students, as you approach these questions, you might find that you have been cornered by a question. Don't labor much. Because when you look at the keyword here, ile itafanya ufanye hii question is system theory. The word system theory. You don't, even when if you have never studied the system theory, from the word system, it is telling you exactly what it is. The way Mwalimu is describing, giving an example of a school. Because and then the other part, the other part that is going to determine is whether you know the assumptions. What is it assuming? I think this word assumption, you also you use it everyday life. What is the assumption of this? Why are you assuming me? What did you assume? Like the way Mwalimu gave an example of wearing specs. So assumption, it is what is the people having a belief of this theory, whether it is true or not. But therefore it is an assumption. And then after you get the assumption, then what do you do with those assumptions? You explain them. And that is what I've said, the Mwalimu is doing so good. She is explaining and explaining, also giving examples. So you don't have to labor so much with many complicated answers. You only need to understand, because you might decide that you'll not tackle this question. And when you reach the examination room, this one turns to be the only better question. So the only thing is that don't look at the just system theory. I've never heard about it. Then, but it is good to break it down. What is a system? Even in your home, you have a system. In your school, you have a system. What do you understand by a system? It is those fine those small bits that are joined together to form something meaningful. Like the way Mwalimu talked in the school, we have many workers. And they can only work when there is a system. One knows what to do at what time and where and when and why. That means there is a system. And all these systems are, why they are going to work as a system is to achieve the goal of that institution, learning to take place. So in fact, this system theory, it is even in your home. It is even in school. It is everywhere. But it is only the word system theory is not used. So I like the way Mwalimu is explaining it.
Thank you very much, madam. Now, class, I hope that at least now
Pascal,
yes.
Pascal, before we go far, when I look at the chart,
yes,
there's somebody who has written the assumptions. And these assumptions, if you look at them, they are very good. How I wish we use a simple language. For example, number one, amesema there is an underlying general order in the world. So then you can say it is assumed where there is system, where the systems are put, it is assumed that there is order. Are we together? So in the assumption two, the person is saying social ordering is a constant and dynamic process. We use simpler terms. We don't cram. Because like point one, it is assumed that where there is a system, it is only assumed, it is assumed there is a good order. So that one has explained itself. So are we together? So let us try not to memorize. Utaenda kwa mtihani utakuta ile yote umememorize imepotea. What is left is exactly what you know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too for your response. Now, so we have looked at least we have looked at question 6. I know there was a challenge dealing with it even yesterday, but up to this moment, it is now a settled hurdle. Now, I can see it is already 10:01. Time is flying. And I say that after this paper, this was the last slide
Pascal,
for the, yes.
kuna ile ya family theory yenye ilitushinda. Usiulizie.
Umeuliza tayari.
Pascal, as you look for the question they are talking about,
yes,
there is if you have looked at the slide again, the slide of the questions that you have that you are removing.
Yes, this one.
Yes. If you look at the first 5B, it has 8 marks. Why is it having 8 marks? Because of the doing word, the verb. Identify. So, like now, it is very important to look at these verbs. The verbs determine the marks. And for you to get the marks, you must have been able to use that verb effectively. So identify. So many other times you tell the learners you have mixed assorted or points or materials, you tell them, I want you to identify color blue from this. What are you telling the learner? To choose the what you want. So that is identify. Examine. What is to examine? And every question that is coming with examine, look also, it has the 8, sometimes examine is given 2 marks. Sometimes it is given 1 mark. So when you are told to examine, it's looking keenly. Examine what you are doing. Look keenly what you are doing. There are 2 terms that the students tend to not to understand: explain and describe. You are told to describe exactly how that thing looks like. If you're being told to describe a table, it has a flat surface and it has 4 munaita legs.
Yes.
Yes, is it legs or stands?
Matendegu.
Yes, it is black in color. It is size 4 feet times 3 feet. You are describing that table. But when you are told to explain, you say it has 4 stands to help it to stand. It has a flat surface to enable it to be for items to be placed on them. You are explaining. Have you gotten the difference between explain and describe? And that is why you tell the child, explain where you are. You don't tell the child to describe where you are. If you're telling the child to describe where describe where you are, the child will say, I was in a room that is 4 by 4 and it was dark. It had some lights. Then she is describing. Then the child will explain where you were. I was seated. I did not know the time had reached for me to go to school. Therefore, and as I was seated, my friend came and we started playing. This child is explaining. Have you gotten the difference?
Yes.
Yes. So we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful when we are explaining and describing. The other times you are told to mention, highlight, analyze. When you're told to analyze, it's like breaking down something in smaller bits. Looking at it keenly, analyzing is an aspect of something. So you'll get these questions propose haina mambo mingi, but those keywords, the verbs that are used at the beginning or the verbs that are making the question to have a meaning, or advising you what to do with it, they determine the marks that should be allocated. So before you even move to the next question, ensure that you have used that verb appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you too.
For example, Madam, before you leave, help us kindly. One answer on 5B and one answer on 5C. Could be we mentioned, but we went out of the way.
So why did you enter out of the way?
The way our eyes are being now, we are getting some light.
So what happens, I don't normally give the answer, but I will help you to break the question down until you start seeing the answers. Is that okay?
Yes.
So look at that question. I would like somebody to read that question.
5A, for example, 5B, for example, identify 8 gender issues that may show discriminative practices and lead to behavior problems in school.
Yes. Then I want us first to identify the keywords that can confuse you or can put you out of the rail. Have you ever seen a train? It runs on its own rail.
Yes.
So there are some keywords that can put you on the rail or out of the rail. Gender issues. That is one. Because if you look at that question, you remove the gender issues, the question will not make a meaning. The other keyword there is discriminative practices. The other meaning is the behavior problems in schools. Those are very important phrases. Before even you start, you identify them, you should know what are gender issues. And these gender issues you look at are going to show some discriminative practices. What is discriminative? And when you're looking at discriminative, this one comes from the word discriminating. And which can lead to behavior problems. So, and then after you get those issues, then what are you going to do? You're just identifying them. This one has nothing much. Have I done the right thing?
Yes.
So the first thing before you even tackle any question, underline the keywords. because if you read at the whole sentence, it looks a bit more complicated. And therefore, there we find that there are some questions. You can start answering the questions from behind, others from the middle, others from the front. It depends on where the key phrases or keywords are. For example, you have the gender issues. There are so many gender issues. And when it comes to an issue, when you have when you tell the child what to do, the child comes to you in class and unamuliza, what are your issue? What is your issue? That means it's something I wanted to be solved, isn't it? So this is gender things to be sorted out. And this, therefore, because they lead to discriminative, or they show some discriminative practices. So the moment you see the word issues in where there is gender, then it is something that needs to be solved. So do I go to the other one?
Yes.
So you wanted me to do with the C?
So we can try to give maybe 2 answers.
Yes, then you can give, then the students can give 2 answers. Na ninaona tuko wengi na sijui wengine wako wapi. They are copying.
Internalizing.
Others are good at listening.
Yes, then you can suggest some issues. And when you are suggesting these issues, you show how they are showing discriminative practices that is leading to behavior in schools. And one keyword that is also very important is in school. Therefore, the question is being answered by a teacher. And you are the teacher. So we can go ahead and suggest.
Okay. Somebody else also to try. I've talked a lot. When we talk,
can we give responses towards the question now? We can give at least 2 or 3 responses towards question that question.
I want to try.
Yes, Fildema.
Yes. One gender issue that I can talk about, it is whereby the boys are believed to do better in sciences or mathematics, and the girls are said to do better in languages. You see, such an issue, it can bring discrimination, whereby maybe there are girls who are competent in doing more better than those boys. But because it is seen that it's only boys who can tackle those subjects well, so they feel discriminated. That is what I can say. So Madam can correct me.
Thank you, Madam. You have brought a very good idea. But I'm afraid of using the word discriminative, discriminated in the same question that was asked, talking of discrimination. Are we together? This is a word in the question paper, in the question, and you are repeating it. So you are talking of where the science subjects are more stressed on to the boys.
Yes.
And therefore, the teacher will address on the children, on the boys performing better, or explaining more better, or encouraging boys. That's a practice. Are we together? Therefore, and therefore we're affecting the other gender, that is the girls. How is it now leading to the behavior problem in school? Yes? You show that point, how can it lead to behavior problem?
Where?
Yes, that point you can coin it, Mwalim. You can say
Let
that
me
some
try
children, when it comes to sciences, the boys become so attentive and the girls becomes not attentive
Yeah.
and not interested and doing other things during the science subjects. That is a behavior problem in school. Yes.
Thank you.
Kwani leo nimeleta shida kwa group.
Pascal,
Yes.
I try to say this.
Questions zimeleta balaa tokea jana madam. Hata ni Mungu amekutuma. Hizi questions zimetulemea tokea jana. Hata umetumwa tu. Sijui ndio inaitwa heaven send ama ni nini?
Naona Jacob Kirui anaongea.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Jacob. I'm trying to think it this way. Like male female teacher ratios in school can bring in these gender issues. For example, in schools whereby almost all of the teachers are male, to the girls, I can say maybe the girls in the school cannot be performing well because some of the issues which they face might not be well addressed with the male teachers, and also the vice versa of it.
Yeah, I think I like the point because it is talking about inequality in the gender in terms of the teaching staff. Therefore, one gender has no mentor. It is not mentored. And therefore, this can be a problem in the behavior because the gender which is not mentored, it can develop behavioral problems in the school.
All right. Thank you very much once again.
For example, Pascal.
Yes.
If, for example, a lady teacher is posted to boys' school, you'll find that maybe in a situation where madam wants to correct a learner who has made a mistake, you'll find some boys in some culture saying, I have been circumcised, so I cannot be caned by a woman. They will not see you as a teacher correcting them. They will see you as a woman. And the fact that they had been circumcised, you have no authority over them. They are now old enough to do their own things the way they want. And that also be an issue.
How is it I can see your point. I want you to explain how is it look at the other keyword that they may show discriminative practices. Can you elaborate on that? Yes, I can see your point. It is coming out very well.
For now, discriminative practices in such a way that the boy child may not see this one as a teacher, but will be seeing the teacher in the mirror of a woman, and then will be discriminating. They will only want maybe male teacher to correct them.
Yes.
But if a woman is correcting them, even though
you are not a woman, the female gender.
The female gender.
Yes.
Kizungu nayo.
That's okay. But I like the way you are coming with an original answer, that the originality is what it is. Yes. I can see some people writing facilities which are not equal for both boys and girls. How is that one coming in as a discriminative practice? And how is it a gender issue? There is this other person was talking about access more boys, access more boys, access school than girls. What is that? What does the person mean? Here you access more boys may access school than girls. That point ikijengwa vizuri, it is a very important point.
And on the facility, I can say that, for example, during examination time, we normally receive donors bringing in sanitary towels for girls and other small necessity for girls, yet the boy child here is not catered for. So they'll feel demeaned, and then it may cause them even to fail, because they will say, they will argue it out. They normally argue it out that after all, even if we pass, nobody will care for us. We may even miss these opportunities that girls are being given. Then they will be in a better position to get good schools than us.
I wonder whether it is a gender issues and solve the issue. Because I wanted where even you people, as you are handling the genders, you bring those issues out. For example, the one of the gender issues, a boy is crying. Yes, umempea punishment analia. How do you handle it?
Boys are not supposed to cry.
When you are mwanamume na unalia, that is an issue. Are we together? And then it brings to the discriminative practice, and therefore there is a behavior problem in the school. Are we together? The girls become more fragile because you of putting more emphasis that they are the ones who should express their emotions. So there is a lot that you can do with that question.
Even the type of punishment that we give it to them. For
yes,
boys, we attempt to give corporal punishment. But for the girls, we take them as fragile. We don't do more punishment to them.
So yeah, the issues, those issues that are there, yes. And also, I also see you telling when you are in class, you tell the learners, I want the girls first to go to the, those are issues. And you say, you normally say ladies first. So, and these are discriminative. They show some discrimination of the boys. Na kijana akikuja hapo unamuuliza, are you a girl? Unamchapa narudi. So, can they bring the behavior problem? So these things are there, and this is what I didn't argue. Some of the answers are there, but sometimes you want to find the answers in the books. And this is where you need to know what are the gender issues and how are they show the discriminative practices, and how can they lead to the behavior problem in schools. Is there any other question you wanted me to address before I go to sleep?
There was one somewhere here. Let me get it.
When else do you have a meeting?
On Saturday in the evening, from 8 to 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a question here on 5 areas in which family therapy is most useful.
Tuanze na ya kwanza basi B.
B Roman 1B, and then the second Roman 2. That is explain the term family counseling. 6 marks.
Hiyo sitafanya.
Tuende B.
Tulitaka kujua kweli ndio make 6 marks ni nini utaongeza.
Yati?
Ndio ileta hiyo 6 marks. Juesi tusema tu family counseling.
Where is this paper from? Because the marks is generously given with no. I don't like the awarding of marks. Explain the term family counseling. That can be 2 marks. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
The problem
that one
with the
is,
marks.
Yeah, the wording of the marks, it was so generous. And that one can also be, yeah. So if you don't know what is family counseling, you will not be able to know what is family therapy. Are we together? If you don't know what is family counseling, you cannot be able to tackle family therapy. So, and when it comes to, I believe sometimes I see a student going to exam one, you are not expecting the word is family counseling. Na sasa imekuja. So, and those are 2 words. Are we together? It is better you look at it in your mother tongue. You bring it out in English. Because kuruka swali kwa sababu umeona term family counseling. You know, how many types of counseling do we have? Yes? We have group counseling. Yes?
5.
Peer counseling.
Yes. And
Bibliot.
then, yes, when you go see the family counseling, yes?
Yeah, counseling.
Yes. When you see family counseling, what is it telling you?
It's telling us, madam.
Yes.
Help given to a group of people who are related by blood, based on the problem they are going through.
Yes.
It can be maybe loss of a loved one.
Yes.
That they are not able to come in terms with. So they are brought together, and then they are helped in finding the right ways of coming to reality with the issue. I think that's my understanding.
I like your understanding. Then I can come and then ask, when can the family, when do the family require family counseling? She has talked of for the death of a loved one, or a member of the family. Is there
loss
any
of
other
employment, loss of job.
From who?
The caregivers.
The breadwinner, losing livelihood. Losing livelihood. Because maybe it was not employment. It was maybe he was a farmer. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, or maybe, yeah, losing of livelihood.
Marital conflicts.
Yeah.
Marital conflicts.
Marital conflict between the husband and the
wife.
Yes.
Issue of maybe a child being born with a special
disability.
Yeah, disability or has the special needs.
Or the
when
drug
issue. Yeah, when the family, some of the family members are involved in the taking of drugs. So those are examples, but there are so many. Then you'll be able now to understand where now you come in with the question. If you have question A, then you, and the other question I have asked, can you see yourself you have tackled B?
Yes, so well.
Yes?
Yeah.
Wengine hawajaona.
By giving the examples that you have given, like death, loss of a loved one, the child born with disability.
But and the question is identify 5 areas. Are we together?
Yes.
When you're taught to identify, you don't need to explain a lot. but your answer should be clear. And one of the major problems I experience is when the student do not understand. For example, you can be told to describe the factors, and some just give one word. One word is not a factor. So with that one, I just wish to say good night.
You too.
And when I'll be available, I'll be joining in.
Please welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
Edwin Ogada. Edwin, please offer us the closing prayer if possible so that we can now.
So you are also leaving?
Yeah, it is already our time.
We are past time by 30 minutes.
All right.
Pascal Tuambe.
So before you pray, we will have our next class on Saturday in the evening from 8 to 9:30. Kindly keep time. There is a lot to be done and the time is short. So Edwin, kindly pray.
Wacha tuombe. Lord, we thank you for this far you brought us. You started with us, and it's the time that we want to go and rest. We say thank you for the day that you've been with us. Lord, may you guide us, may you walk with us even in our places of work. We call upon you to be with us, for it is in Jesus' name I pray this short prayer, believing and trusting.
Amen.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, Gada, you were present today.
Hakuona time leo.
Mambo.
Hakuwa na saa leo.
Wolan.
Leo watu wanatoka. Washatoka, tulianza 93.